So, want to know a cool idea on how to let the buyer's agents know if your seller is willing to offer any compensation? I got an idea. I'm Kathy Burns, and I'm with eXp Realty, and I'm here just north of Charlotte in the Lake Norman area. I'm a waterfront specialist and typically a listing agent. So I was in a mastermind today, and one of the agents was saying, hey, I have no idea how this is going to work. A lot of agents don't answer their phones, they're busy, whatever. How am I going to find out if they're offering anything or not? Because they can't market it as easy as they could before, especially they cannot do it in the MLS. If you like this kind of information, please subscribe below and stay tuned. So we were coming up with different ideas. How could you do it? Because you cannot do it in code. That's the worst thing you can do, because the MLS is the new police for all these NAR changes with heavy, serious penalties. So be careful with that. So what you can do, dawned on me, what about creating a template that's an outgoing message that you can have on your text? That's one way. And also in your recording. So if somebody calls you and you're busy and your voicemail comes on and you say, hey, I'm Kathy Burns with eXp Realty, and I have these particular listings available. Let's say all but this one is offering 3%, and this address is offering 2.5%, or whatever the deal is. You start your thing out that way so that they know that they're going to get the deets on that. And if it's just somebody calling, just say, if you're not calling about one of the properties, stay tuned because I'll get back to you just as soon as I can. Do you know what I mean? Now that's going to make you have to be more current with updating your outgoing voicemail for your phone. However, that is one way to do it, and not having to fight the whole process of being available for every single call on your listings, right? The other is to create a template. The template could be the same thing. And that's easy to do on an iPhone. I don't know about Androids, but I know you can do a template on an iPhone. And the majority of us do use iPhones. That's all I'm saying about that. Anyway, so you can create that template with the same concept. You can list it one by one in your text, this address, this percent, blah, 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 because it is not tied to the MLS. Because remember, any form of telling the buyer's agent what percent of commission you're offering cannot be hidden anywhere in the MLS, in the public remarks or the private remarks. It cannot even be aligned with showing time. I reached out to them because I thought, well, that would be a great idea. And it's not. That's a way to get it. The fines they're talking are steep. And we're unsure of all of that yet, except the only thing we do know is that the MLS is policing this, not NAR. NAR made the rules, and now the MLS gets to police it. And some of these are so severe, you're not going to get any warning. As Leo, our CEO, said, they made it a monetizing thing for the MLSs because they'll be able to, with no consequence to them. And believe me, these attorneys that are out there are waiting for the agents to screw up, because there will be more lawsuits, most likely. That's not a guarantee, most likely. And they are going to be making examples of the agents that are screwing up. Now, if you're one of the agents that's affiliated in some way within the transaction, you'll be brought into this. So you got to make sure that you're doing your part the best that you can, so that you are not part of that whole situation, right? For me, I'm gonna do the text. I'm gonna set up the template for my text for my listings, and when I call the agent, and if they don't have something like that, I'm gonna suggest to them, hey buddy, why don't you put that in there? That's why I'm making this video right now, because I think it's a great idea. Spread the word. Hey, that's a great idea. With this, please spread the word. Share it with everybody you know. Anyway, these are challenging times. If you've been in the market since I got in 2006, that's right before the market crashed. That was a tough road for quite a few years there. As far as the norm, tons of agents got out. Lawsuits weren't happening. Fines weren't happening. This is new for us, and there will be lots of agents that are going to get out. that's okay. But if this is your business and this is something that you really want to maintain, then I encourage you to really be watching videos and understanding. And that in itself is another issue. I want to touch on that. Our CEO, Leo Pereira, it's Pareja, and he is leading really all the companies on a path of clear understanding of what's going on. We even have a seller presentation, a buyer presentation. These are non-firm affiliated. In other words, you can use them yourself, because as of this date, August 5th, there are still something like 16 MLSs that don't have updated forms. So you may be in one of those states that need help. These forms are approved in all states. They're simple. You can use them for buyers, sellers, all the different pieces. They're explained in there so that you can understand. If you don't want to use them, you don't have to use them. I'm just saying you got options. The goal that EXP has taken on is about collaboration. That's been my mantra life. Anyway, I share, I help. I want to help you. That's the point of these videos. This is about empowering other agents to be the best that they can be. We all win when each other win. This is not about beating up another company. Ours has been vilified because of following the specifics of the contract to protect the agents. And everybody's running on a whole different tangent, like EXP's not paying buyers agents. That's not true. So you have to understand what the contract said. Originally, the listing agent would negotiate the entire fee. The buyers and the sellers, they'd say, we're going to charge, example, 6%. We're going to take 3%, and we're going to offer 3% to the buyer's agent. When this whole thing happened, it eliminated that. So now we're just negotiating our own, the seller, the listing agent's going to negotiate it. However, if we're smart, we're going to educate our clients, which is what we ethically need to do. Educate our sellers on options, how they can do it, not do it, whatever. And if they decide to do it, we sign the right forms, we're prepared with those forms. And now, how do we effectively, which is what I'm getting back to, let those buyers, agents know what the seller is willing to do or not do, and do it in an efficient manner. Well, the text and the voicemail, I think, are pretty darn efficient. What are your thoughts? Please let me know. Let's have a conversation about this. Let's everybody start having a conversation, but let's have the conversations be where there's right information. I'm telling you, if you follow Leo on Facebook, he lets all these different interviews that he's being done, like at Inman, all kinds of places, guide us on the right direction of the proper answers. Some companies are just not teaching their agents right because they're not diving in enough themselves. I want you to think about the boutique companies, the mom and pops, the smaller firms, the ones that just started out. The liability here is immense. If you want to talk about this so you get some help, reach out to me, schedule a business strategy call. Love to help in any way. It's not a solicitation to come to EXP. However, feel free to talk about that too, because it's so friggin' helpful here. I mean, we're on a path. I'm not saying we won't make mistakes, but that's the goal, not to make them, right? And if we collaborate and mastermind together, isn't it better? I mean, that's my world. I'm so sick of this beating other people up. Let's empower people. So if you like this kind of stuff, stay tuned, subscribe, share your comments below. Let's talk. If you're a negative Nelly, don't even bother to write on here. I don't want to even hear from you. Okay? Let's talk positive. Let's make this happen. We can get through this, right? Okay. See you on the next one, hopefully.